a pre-written speech, either through a teleprompter or maybe in paper form down in front of their podium, better than anybody else. That is the definition of presidential. Well, guess what? America is not really interested in that anymore for their president.
No. And you're listening to Smith Radio. That's smythradio.com. If you go to our website, you can see the live streaming feed of our Twitter and our Facebook, as well as all the past shows that we've had. You can be a part of the show on Sunday evenings from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. Eastern Time. 513-888-1538 is the call-in line. And we are talking about being presidential and Trump's speech earlier this week where he destroyed Hillary. He also talked about Thursday, the Supreme Court blocked Obama's Executive Amnesty Act. It's a 4-4, and that's the thing too. It was a 4-4 tie ruling that blocked one of the most unconstitutional actions ever undertaken by any president. The executive amnesty from President Obama wiped away the immigration rules written by Congress, giving work permits and entitlement benefits to people illegally in the country. So, by a 4-4 decision, we won that because in the past, he wasn't allowed to do it. So, if the Supreme Court, look at that right there. If you had a liberal, one more lib on the Supreme Court, they would have ruled 4-5 or 5-4. Obama, go ahead. Keep going on with the illegal immigration. You're green-lit to go. It's tied 4-4.
Oh, my gosh.
How close is that? And Anthony Scalia would have definitely shot it down, so it would have been 5-4.
So.
Yeah.
I mean,
just knowing who he was, it would have been 5-4. He's passed away, God rest his soul. It's 4-4. It's a tie.
So it ends up going back to the previous court before it got to the Supreme Court.
So it's unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court's tie?
Well, if the Supreme Court either rules that it's not constitutional or is tied, or I'm sorry, that it is constitutional or that it is tied, then it's constitutional. It's kind of scary.
It's really scary. So
we don't have a country anymore.
No, so Trump tweeted out, and folks, you've got to understand where Trump's coming from. And from what I see, where he's coming from, he really does want to have a country back together again. Think about the 80s. Back in the 80s when we were booming, it was just incredible. There were jobs everywhere. Everybody had their small businesses being startup businesses everywhere. And it was just an incredible time to be in America. That's when he made his billions. So why would he not want to get back there? So he tweeted out after this, he said, SC has kept us safe from executive amnesty for now, but Hillary has pledged to expand it, taking jobs from Hispanics and African-American workers. And Hillary Clinton's open borders are tearing American families apart. I'm going to make our country safe again for all Americans. Hashtag, I'm with you.
He destroyed her slogan.
Hashtag, I'm with her.
Isn't that's got to be
the
worst.
Self-centered.
Yeah, I'm with her. You're literally talking about yourself in third person.
And you're referring to Hillary as a female. You are denoting that she is a she.
But it's her campaign slogan, right? I'm with her.
Right.
So what they came up with was ridiculously egotistical, self-centered.
Well, when they keep doing this, it's easy. This is low-lying fruit for Trump to make fun of and to crack on.
Oh, and that was the most masterful way to crack on that slogan is to come out
Trend it. I'm with you.
Well, his own rebuttal to that is that, I'm with you, the country.
Right. So he tweeted out again on immigration. He says, on immigration, I am consulting with our immigration officers and wage earners. Hillary Clinton consulting with Wall Street. How do you say that's not true? That's where she gets all her money.
She's not going to come out and say, "Oh, he's lying about that."
Yeah, right.
I ain't in no ways tar.
Oh, yes. Hey, did you hear about her email or her?
The calendar.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I use Google Calendar, so I can totally relate with this. So, anytime I have an appointment or a reoccurring event, such as taking my daughter to gymnastics or whatever,
right,
I put it on the calendar, and of course, when the time comes up, it gives me a quick little notification on my phone.
And we do it to each other,
yeah,
so we can stay on top of each other's
coordinate with other people. Right. So, for instance, if Brian and I are going somewhere, I'll create an event on a certain day, certain time. I'll add him as an attendee, and it will also notify him, so we can both know, and we'll never miss an appointment, right?
Right.
So imagine if you're doing this and you got a calendar and you're a presidential nominee, you're a former Secretary of State, and so your calendar is probably jammed. I'm talking wall to wall, hour to hour, appointments every minute of every day for probably the next 9 to 18 months.
Well, you may have a couple of people, full-time staffers, maintaining your calendar.
Right. So imagine what you would feel like if you were Secretary Clinton and you open up the old Google Calendar and 3 solid months is empty. Just gone. There's nothing there.
75 meetings with lifetime political donors and loyalists to the Clinton Foundation, their contributors, and corporate and other outside interests were either not recorded or listed with identifying details scrubbed from the calendar.
Meaning that they were deleted totally. Like if it wasn't registered on there, it means it was deleted totally.
Yeah. So Breitbart reported on the AP. The AP accidentally reported on this. It was what does Rush call it? It was an accidental drive-by.
Oh no, he calls it a random act of journalism.
Yes, that's what this was.
Oh.
So they said the week ends with a double whammy for Hillary Clinton, courtesy of the Associated Press.
Oh my God.
Which discovered that dozens of names, events have been scrubbed from her official Secretary of State calendar. And
which, by the way, how would they know that it was deleted? People are not supposed to have access to your calendar.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
Jeez.
And apparently, after the scrubbing, it's also been confirmed that Clinton destroyed at least one related email stored on her illicit email server. It's come out that email said it was between her and Huma. And Huma said, hey, I'm paraphrasing. Hey, you better set up that state.gov account. And Hillary replied back to her, no, we're not going to do that because I want people seeing my stuff. Yes.
Okay.
And she deleted that email. That email is confirmed that that's what it said, and she deleted it to not be put in.
Oh my God.
So it's when I say it's a smoking gun, it's not smoking. The barrel of the gun is so hot, it's glowing red.
It's a snapshot of the bullet leaving the barrel.
Yes.
It's not the smoking gun. It's the actual shot fired and captured.
Right. So apparently the AP did a review of her calendar, and after the fact, official chronologic the order with her 4 terms and 1,500-page documents with separate planning schedules. I mean, they did all this stuff, and they went day by day and found that at least 114 outsiders who met with Clinton were missing from her calendar and all records.
Now, are we supposed to believe that somebody erased this for a reason, or is this like a hacker got in? Because I took it as a hacker got in.
Well, that's another thing. They're saying that she erased it, but now they're also saying that...
Why would she have an empty... You saying that she might have found another calendar because everybody knows about her public calendar or something? Because I have a calendar.
It was all part of this, her submitting these documents. And her calendar is made public. Yeah, I believe it's... Yeah,
I mean, you could... If you have a Google Calendar... You can make it public or not.
Right.
Most people would choose not to, particularly if you're the Secretary of State who is the nominee for the Democratic Party.
I mean, like, you can look at the calendar to see...
Democrat.
You can look at the calendar to see who Obama's been meeting with. That's how we found out he met with Muslim Motherhood. The Muslim
Motherhood?
the Muslim Brotherhood.
Oh, okay.
He has given the Muslim Brotherhood more access to the White House than anybody.
Well, yeah, because he's the first terrorist president.
Correct.
I mean, you got to
So I believe
understand that.
Right. So her calendar is of public record, I would imagine. Who she's meeting with as Secretary of State, who you're meeting with, who you're doing dinner with, who you're doing lunches with.
I wouldn't make it public.
Well, I don't know if
it could be assassinated. I mean, the whole thing is, I learned this at a really young age. The president's schedule for where he's going to be and when is usually classified, so that people can't set up an assassination plot.
No, this is the past. This is looking back. These things are made public
after the fact.
After the fact, yeah.
Oh, she erased stuff that had already happened.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't let people see that anyway.
114. Well, the only way that the AP found this out was that they took different documents. They took 1,500 pages of documents that were separate, and then planning schedules that were supplied to Clinton by aides in advance of each day's events. They took the names of at least 114 outsiders who met with Clinton and found that they were missing from the calendar, and it just these things weren't adding up. It was very simple to add up.
So they cross-referenced with documents they already had.
Yeah, like three different types of resources to find that they're missing.
Yeah. That is a random act of journalism.
Right. And so on a separate sort of issue, the Clinton Foundation said to be breached by Russian hackers again.
Again, this is not. They're not even trying anymore. They've given up. They just threw their hands up and say, "Well, you know what? If the Russians want a part, or if they want to have access to our stuff, what are we going to do to stop it?"
Right. So,
and I'll tell you something else, Mr. Producer.
So, according to three people familiar with the matter, they're saying the attacks on the Foundation networks, as well as those of the Democrat Party and Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, compound concerns about her digital security, even as the FBI continues to investigate her use of personal. This is, it's like a joke beyond jokes.
But we'd definitely be going backwards with Hillary as president, because the big thing about Obama was he was like the first president to use a BlackBerry, which, by the way, 8 years ago, BlackBerry was the thing.
Isn't that amazing? In 8 years, it has completely vanished from the earth.
He's the last one that has one, probably.
They still use them. The
Who?
government.
Who's they?
The government. Those people.
What do you mean by those people?
You know those government worker types.
So anyway, so I don't know if he still uses a BlackBerry or not, but when he first got into office, the whole thing is that no president had ever used any kind of a smart device, and that it was a big deal that he would use a smart device because it was a concern that it would be hacked and all that kind of stuff. And it took for him to insist that he was going to keep his BlackBerry for them to finally say, all right, we'll make it happen for the love of God.
Yeah. So you're listening to Smith Radio here with your host, Brian Smith and Kerry Smith. And we're rounding up the last 30 minutes of the show. You can listen to us live 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to be a part of the show, call in 513-888-1538. Go to smithradio.com. That's SMYTH. You can see the live feed of our Twitter account, and as well as the Facebook and every single show we've ever had. You can scroll through them all. And this next 15 minutes is brought to you by...
You know, in '76, Jimmy Carter famously said,